You did the right thing today, but not for the right reason. You've been doing that for a while now, the right things, the expected things, and somewhere inside, you know something is off. Not because you're failing, but because doing everything right still feels strangely empty. That has a name. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to understand something about yourself you've never been able to explain, and it won't feel so heavy anymore. Everyone has heard the phrase, carry your cross. Some people hear it and think, endure your bad marriage, tolerate your illness, accept what's not working and call it faith. Others hear it and think, that sounds too extreme, too much, not for someone like me living an ordinary life. Both of those are wrong. And the distance between those two misunderstandings is exactly where thousands of Christians are stuck right now. If that hit you, let it land. Jesus didn't whisper this. He didn't say it to theologians or monks. He said it to ordinary people. Dusty feet, real problems, standing on a road going somewhere. And he said it as a condition. Luke 9:23, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me." 3 commands, 1 sentence. Deny yourself, take up your cross, follow me. Daily. That one word changes everything. A cross is not a season you survive. It is a posture you maintain. And a faith that never costs you anything is not the faith Jesus described. The church preached comfort for so long that the call to the cross started sounding radical. It was never supposed to sound radical. It was supposed to sound normal. You've been sitting in services that never asked anything of you, and something inside you has known it for a long time. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Here's what the cross actually means. The night before everything, Jesus knelt in a garden and prayed one sentence. Matthew 26:39, "Not as I will, but as you will." That is the cross before the cross, the surrender before the suffering. Carrying your cross today doesn't always mean persecution, doesn't always mean public sacrifice. Sometimes it means staying in the hard conversation instead of walking out, forgiving the person who doesn't deserve it, saying no to what feels good but leads you away from God. Every moment you choose His will over yours, you're picking it up. That's not weakness. That is the most courageous thing a human being can do. But here's what nobody talks about. Galatians 2:20, "I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me." Paul isn't being poetic. He's describing a real death. The death of the self that craves recognition, that builds its identity on what other people think, that makes every decision based on comfort and applause. That version of you goes to the cross and stays there. And that's the part most Christians are unwilling to do. We want Jesus without surrender. We want resurrection without crucifixion. But you cannot have one without the other. The life of God only flows through the places where the old self has died. That's true, but it's only half of what you need to hear. Because carrying your cross doesn't always happen in public. It happens in the moment when you could lie and no one would know, but you tell the truth. When you could quit the calling because it's taking too long, but you stay. When you could indulge and no one would see, and you walk away anyway. Romans 8:17, "We are co-heirs with Christ if we share in His sufferings, so that we may also share in His glory. The suffering and the glory are connected. You cannot separate them. Most people stop here. Don't. Because there's one thing nobody wants to talk about. Jesus went to the cross for people who were crucifying Him. That person who exhausts you is an opportunity to carry the cross. The one who has hurt you, the one who doesn't deserve your grace, the one you've been avoiding for weeks. Luke 6:27. Love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. That instruction only makes sense when you understand the cross.
Because the cross wasn't efficient. It wasn't comfortable. It wasn't fair. It was love at its most costly. And then there's the cross nobody names: uncertainty, the unanswered prayer, the waiting season that makes no sense, the door that will not open no matter how hard you knock. Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Every time you lay down the need to understand everything and simply trust Him, you are carrying it. So what does this look like today? Not on Sunday, not in a moment of crisis. It looks like a Tuesday morning, quiet, before the world demands anything from you. You bring yourself before God and you say, "Not my will, yours." You find the one area where your flesh has been winning and you surrender it. Specifically, you choose obedience in the small moment in front of you, right now. Not the big dramatic sacrifice, the next small step of faithfulness. A faith with no cross is a comfortable life with a Christian label. But the cross is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of the only story worth living. Comment below, "Lord, not my will, but yours," if today you're ready to stop carrying your comfort and start carrying your cross. And if this reached you, subscribe, because everything here is built on the word that never returns empty.